Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me great pleasure to bring on board our first lady speaker of this prestigious Kohinoor Business Expo. She's one of the industry experts and she's going to tell us all how we can be richer, not only with her experience, but with our money as well. It gives me immense pleasure to introduce to you Ms. Nisha Dhanuka, who is an ex-banker turned entrepreneur. Her passion for people development has led her to co-found a company called C2X, which is into leadership development. And she's a serial entrepreneur. She has started another venture, which is called Her Ace Venture Evangelist, an initiative to scale up women-led ventures globally through the investments and incubation. Now, do you know why her session is called It's All About Money, Honey? Because she's only helping the honeys to make all the monies. And here we have this lady with an MBA, and she's also having a degree of a chartered accountant and a company secretary under her belt. As if education wasn't enough, she went on to become a certified NLPP and an emotional intelligence practitioner, an insolvency professional. She will tell you some secrets how not to go bankrupt. She is now on her way to become a certified valuer, featuring as one of the top 10 inspiring entrepreneurs by an online magazine, She Rules. And amongst the top 10 upcoming CEOs in the CEO Insights magazine, her story was also covered in the online portal Her Money Talks. So not only is she rich, she is very well published as well, ladies and gentlemen. She has won many awards for her professional excellence. She is a gold medalist in chartered accountancy. She also has won an excellence award during her MBA for maintaining a CGPA of 10. Is that something to really worry about, guys? Go back and look back at your grades. She got an All India Business Rankers Award 2018, Women Entrepreneur Award of 2019 by FKCCI, chosen by Goldman Sachs 10K Women Entrepreneurs Program by IIM Bangalore, and Women's Ambassador by ISP Hyderabad. She is very passionate about women entrepreneurs and she works very closely with them at various forums. She has also been recognized at various forums for her contribution in the development of women entrepreneurs. Go for it. Go for the women power, Nisha. Here's to you. Over to you, Nisha.
You're on mute, ma'am.
Thank you, Jagrati, for that wonderful introduction. I don't know, you read the entire profile to make me feel better or to really make me nervous. But thank you so much, for that effort. So, good evening, all the one and all present here. And thanks for giving me this opportunity. So let us straight away dive into the session. It's all about money, honey. So we all are going through a very bad time. We all are going through pandemic. The world is at its low. That's one perspective. If the world is at its low, the other perspective is we can't go any lower. From here, we can only bounce back, right? As an entrepreneur, we are used to bouncing back. We are used to dealing with challenges. We thrive on challenges, in fact. So whenever there is a challenge, we always see an opportunity there. So let me ask you that as an entrepreneur, I'm sure in this pandemic time, you would also have certain challenges in your businesses. Generally, when I ask this question, the answer that mostly come up is that I have a people problem, I don't have sufficient money, I don't have enough resources, I'm busy with time, always firefighting. Of course, those are some of the challenges. So what is that thing that we entrepreneur need to ensure that we sustain through these difficult times? Again, when I ask this question, the entrepreneurs, the answer that I get, I need more money, or I need more perseverance, I need more time, I need more people. Of course, these things will help you to sustain through this. But are we entrepreneurs here only to sustain ourselves? With the permission, I would like to expand that question. What is that thing that keep us not only sustain through this tough time, but help us to excel or thrive in this difficult situation? What is that one thing that we bring on table as entrepreneurs that help us to take this challenge head on and thrive through this challenge? And if I really ask you, when you talk about your challenges of money, people, resources, at the bottom line, if you really go deep dive, the only problem or the only solution that you will talk about is what value we are able to create for our clients, what value we are able to bring for our staff, what value we are able to bring for our stakeholders during this time. So it's ultimately boils down to value. If we get the right value on table, it's not difficult to get the right clients. It's not difficult to get the right people. We will be able to manage time as well. There are so many industries that actually went down, but there were so many industries that actually thrived during this pandemic situation. And one classic example, if I have to take, it's e-commerce. It just was the right time for e-commerce to just thrive. But do you think all the players in the e-commerce industry grew in leaps and bounds? No. Some, of course, some sustained, some failed, but some thrived. They saw that how we can create value for the clients in this situation, for our customers in this situation, and they grew in leaps and bounds. One classic example that comes to my mind in e-commerce, when we were talking only about the basics of our life, the daily needs are the groceries. There were players like Amazon, Grofers, Flipkart, Big Basket. But if I really talk about one player that really comes to the top of our mind is Big Basket. Because they realized that, they could see that there is a lot of people, that lot of things that's going to change the way e-commerce does business now, and people will have to go online to buy their daily needs. And of course, they started recruiting more resources. They started delivering more, deliveries. But did they did not make mistakes? Of course, they made mistakes. But they kept on adding more value. They kept on learning. They kept on delivering that value to the clients. And today, if they really reflect back, they have not only increased their business, they have almost doubled their business. And there's nothing stopping them here. They're bound to grow much more. So on that note, the very bottom line, as an entrepreneur, we need to realize that whatever said and done, if we are able to create and get value on platter for our clients, our business is nowhere to go. So keeping that value as the bottom line, why are we all working as an entrepreneur? What is that one thing, that we all want to do while we got into businesses? We left our jobs. We got, entrepreneurs are such, I would say, strange species who left 9 to 6 job to work 24/7. Am I right? What is that? We all wanted to make money, money. And that's precisely we got into, left our job, left our peace, and got into this journey. So it's all about money, right, my honeys? So the first, I was talking to one of the entrepreneurs. My job, my work requires that I interact with a lot of entrepreneurs. And I was asking one of entrepreneur who was an architect that, so how do you go about ensuring that your cash flow are intact? Cash flow means whatever money I'm getting in and whatever I'm paying, how do you ensure that your cash flows are intact? She said, okay, I'm an architect. I'm extremely good at my work, but please don't talk to me about numbers. I'm not a number person. I said, wow. I said, then who manages your money? She said, I have an accountant and I have other people who takes care of my finance. I said, God save you. Because as an entrepreneur, the very first thing, we have to be jack of all trades and master of one, of course. But if you say that I'm a technical expert, I'm just good at this, I'm not going to take care of my money, then you are a technical expert. You are not an entrepreneur. So the very first thing that you should know how to manage your money. And when I say managing your money, I am not telling or expecting the entrepreneurs to be expert in their financial intelligence. You need not know the various accounting standards. No, I'm just talking about what are the accounts, what are the norms that are relevant to your business, to my business. What are certain laws that will, if there's a change in that law, that's going to impact my business. I need to be aware about those things. I can't escape by saying I'm not a number person. You have to manage your money. You should know what are the assets, what are the liabilities. You know, the other day I was talking to one of my friend. She is into beauty products, and she said, I'm doing extremely well. I said, so what's the plan of expansion? She said, the first thing I'm going to do is buy a house. I said, why? She said, that's my dream. I said, so are you done after buying the house? She said, no, I need to grow my business. I said, do you think investing your hard-earned money worth crores in business is going to give you returns? Are you creating an asset or are you creating a liability? Instead of putting the money in the house, why don't you invest in your business? Because we as an entrepreneur are smart enough that we raise debt only if it gives returns to us. We don't create debt for us. And the one name that comes to my mind when we say that, I can't escape saying that I don't understand number by saying that I'm a technical person, is Velu Money. He started his business with 2 lakhs and today he's sitting on an empire of 3,300 crores. He's a pharmacist. He didn't say that, I don't want to understand numbers, how he would have raised funds, right? So that's a classic example. The second thing, when I ask people, or not people, let's talk about entrepreneurs. When I ask entrepreneurs that, why are you struggling in your business? They said, I don't have enough funds. I don't have enough time. I don't have the right people. My people are quitting. My people are coming. Always cribbing. I said, your problem is very similar to which businessman? Mukesh Ambani. Go and ask him. He will also crib about these problems. So as an entrepreneur, we are always struggling with resources. Which entrepreneur get all the resources on platter? No one. So what really matters is how do you optimize your resources? So if you have this much of time, where do you invest your time? Where do you go and spend your time is very, very important. If you have only 10 people, how do you ensure that out of those 10 people, I enhance their productivity? So it's not about how much resources you have. It's all about how well you can optimize those resources. And when I talk about optimization, one guy I can't take off my mind is a barber very much in Bangalore who started a barber shop. And today he owns a fleet of luxury cars, 400. His first car was a Maruti van. And I'm talking of none other than Ramesh Babu. So he did not stop his barber shop. If you still go today in Boring Club, he has his barber shop. But he knew that I don't want to create liability. The very first income that he generated, he bought a Maruti van for his personal use. But then he realized that my Maruti van I'm not using all the time. So when it is I'm not using, why don't I rent it out? And he started renting it out. So he is a classic example of optimizing his resources, even his personal resources. So that is optimizing your resources. The third thing, new opportunities. Okay, now I would like to know that we all are aware about Amazon, a great company, a great example for the startup world, how you can grow your business. So what do you think? Do they really need to go and expand? They are doing pretty well in their e-commerce industry. They have global presence. Their Amazon Prime, we all are completely aware. So when I ask you that how many businesses they are in, you would say 3, 4, 5. Am I right? Max to max, the extension of thought will go maybe 10. Because Jeff is a busy guy where he has the time to go and look for new opportunities. So my dear friend, like us, Jeff is also an entrepreneur and he will never ever stop looking out for new opportunities. And for your knowledge, right now, Amazon is invested in more than 40 companies. And it doesn't stop here. He's continuously looking out for new opportunities. So does that mean that every venture that he invests in or they go for is a classic success? No, he fails. But that's the part of the journey, because as an entrepreneur, the very important lesson that we need to take, that we never fail. Either we succeed or we learn. As simple as that. And Jeff, he's a classic example of that. Nothing stops him. Every time this guy surprises us with new things coming into our kitty. Don't we all agree? Right? So managing your money, optimizing your resources, and completely keep on looking for new opportunities. You don't know when you are looking for new opportunities, what will strike you. And when I say look for new opportunities, you can think in term or perspective of expanding your product line, expanding your market. Now with this COVID, if you really look at the positive side of it, sitting in the room, we can sell to the entire globe. So this pandemic has not reduced our capability to do business. This pandemic has expanded our capability to do business, because people are now ready to buy online. So if you look out, if you are the mindset, it's all about the mindset, that if you have a mindset that I need to grow, you will look out for new opportunities. And Amazon is just one example, because we all know about these companies. Just look around yourself. There are enough examples, enough success stories that people are, continuously expanding and looking for new opportunities. And as an entrepreneur, our antennas are always looking for that place where we can grow and excel. So, so we talked about managing your money. We talked about optimizing your resources. We talked about new opportunities. What is another very, very important thing is expand. So when I talk about expansion, when I ask any entrepreneur, what do you mean by expansion? What is that one thing that comes to your mind when you think about expansion? He will say, I want to take my company from 1 crore to 10 crore. I want to grow my product line. I want to increase my geographical presence. So what they think about is only their business. But please tell me that as an entrepreneur, you have only this much of time, right? If you really want to grow, how much, to which level you can take your business to? So of course, you need to grow your business. There is no second thought about it. But there is another perspective when you look at the word expand. I as an entrepreneur, when I started my first company 8 years back, which is called C2X, which is into people development space, my entire approach was that how I can grow C2X, and my entire energy was going into building that company, which of course any new startup require that much of energy, that complete focus of the entrepreneur. But then I realized in this 7 to 8 years, this is one way I can grow, but there are another ways where I can also expand and grow. If I start identifying other companies which need funds, if I have surplus funds and they need funds, can I invest in that company? And if I have the knowledge and expertise, can I mentor those companies? So I, as an entrepreneur, as a passionate entrepreneur, I leave no stone unturned to ensure that C2X grows in leaps and bounds. So similarly, any other entrepreneur, when they start something, they also don't leave any stone unturned to ensure that their businesses grow. So what is this is such an easy way out. If I just become an investor, I invest in that company, and that entrepreneur is working to grow that business. And in turn, he's not making only himself wealthy, he's making me also wealthy. So I expand my wealth. So my business will only give me this much of returns. And that's precisely, if you take any successful business, they keep on expanding in terms of investing in other businesses. I was talking about this point, and I took the example of Mukesh Ambani. The other person I was talking to, he said, come on, don't take example of Mukesh Ambani. We are not Mukesh Ambanis. I said, exactly. We are not Mukesh Ambani. And Mukesh Ambani also, if you really see, he also had tough times, when there was a split. But he has the mindset of Mukesh Ambani. And that's why he's on a shopping spree. He could just concentrate on an oil business. But no, this guy will not stop. He will keep on looking what are the new opportunities in the market. And he's going to the level of, even we know he's looking to buy even TikTok. Come on, that was just a time pass for us. But he can see the big potential that this business has. So as an entrepreneur, don't only be like a horse looking into that, how I grow my business. Look out for opportunities. How can you expand your wealth? And by doing this, I can assure you, not only you become more wealthier if you invest in the right business, you also become more wiser, because there are so many learnings that you get from the other venture, which you can actually implement in your own business. Do you agree with me or not? Some of the best practices that any company has got is not from their companies, their industries. It is from the parallel industry that they do the best practices from. So that's where I want to talk about my platform called Have, where we ensure that we promote all the women entrepreneurs who have got brilliant, business models, where we invest in them, because we know, I don't want to be again gender biased, as Jagriti said, we are very, very gender agnostic. We just want to focus on women entrepreneurs, because we know there are so many biases in investment industry when it comes to women entrepreneurs. So we are creating opportunities, and we know once we invest in any women entrepreneur-led business, the complete focus would be to ensure that the business grow. I grow my business, I grow her business. In return, I become more wealthier, I become more wiser. The choice is yours. You just want to focus on your business, or you want to grow your wealth. You want to expand your wealth. Now, again, I was talking to one of the entrepreneurs, in fact, in BNI, and I asked that, why have you joined BNI? What made you come and join this platform? And that person said that, I want to earn more money. I said, fair enough. We all want to earn more money. So I said, so what drives you? He said, I want to work for money. What really drives me is money. Passion is important, but I really want to ensure that my pockets are full. I want to work for money. I said, fair enough. And I think if you ask most of the entrepreneurs, what are you working for? They will say money. Let's put our hand on our heart and say, ultimately, we may say we want to do this, we want to bring change, but at the bottom line, if you're not earning money, you are running an NGO, not a business. So be very clear about what you're doing. So I said, of course, when I also started my business, my entire perspective was I want to work for money. I said, why don't we just rephrase or just change the perspective? Instead of me working for money, can I make my money work for me? Is that possible? And that person just laughed on me. I said, what, are you nuts? What are you talking about? I said, yeah, that's my dear friend. You have not read Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And you don't understand the concept of active income and passive income. This very concept of active and passive income sounded very stupid to me as well. But if you really understand the crux of it, you will understand we entrepreneurs it's so important for us to create the flow of passive income. For the benefit of people, I will quickly explain what is active income, what is passive income. Active income is the income which I earn from where I'm actively working. For example, if I'm running a training company, my active income comes from this company because my entire efforts are going for this company. If I'm doing a job, full-time job, my salary is my active income. Then what is my passive income? Passive income means the income which I generate by investing into other assets. Like, for example, if I invest in shares, I get dividend. I invest in a house, I get rent. So when I invest in a house, I invest not to stay, but to get rent out of it. That's an asset for me. I invest in other businesses, and if I'm able to get an exit, I make huge money. That is my passive income. So passive income means any income for which once invested, I don't have to work for it. There are other people who are working for it, and I am getting my income. And the very beauty of passive income is that the moment I start earning enough passive income that gets me out of the rat race of earning my monthly expenses. If I need 1 lakh or to run my house as a monthly expense, and if my passive income is able to generate that, I'm out of the rat race. I don't have to work to run my house. Then I run around to create wealth, to create a difference in the system, to create a mark in the society. So very, very importantly, you need to focus that along with the active income, how do I ensure that I start getting passive income? I know a lot of us as an entrepreneur don't even think about it, but just take a pause and take a step back. If you start doing it, the entire chattering in our mind that how will we pay our bills every month, you will eliminate. And you don't have to do it in the one in the like you can't expect to generate 1 lakh immediately. Start taking baby step, because as they say, till the time you take that step, you will never move forward. So it's very important as an entrepreneur, we should start concentrating even on the passive income. And my sincere request to all the entrepreneurs out there is that please read this book. It will help you to change your entire mindset, entire perspective about money. That how the very small thing of passive income is so critical for our survival, for our growth, for becoming more wealthier. So instead of I say you working for money, ensure that your money will start working for you and you're out of the rat race. So we spoke about so many examples. We spoke about managing your money, optimizing your resources, new opportunities, expand, and your money working for you. So what I was talking about, if you really take the initials of all these things, it is MONEY. And here I would like to share my screen because I would like to show off that I have done something also for the benefit of my dear participants. Okay, share screen. Can you all see my screen? So that's your money. That's your MONEY. I can assure you, if you start following this, you don't have to worry about money. You don't have to chase money. Money will start chasing you. On that note, thank you so much for your time. I hope I added value to your time, because time is again one of the scarce resources entrepreneurs crib about. Thank you so much. Over to you, Jagriti.
Thank you so much, Nisha, for that amazing session. Now all of us will go back and think, where can I make my money work much more? How much more can I get from this exhibition? Thank you so much, Nisha, for partnering with us for this session. You've been wonderful. Your talk was very, very insightful. We all at the organizing committee are very, very grateful that you've taken time out to join us and share your rich experience with us. Thank you so much. Looking forward to meet you again very soon. Thank you. Over to you,
Thank
Guru.
you, Jagriti.
Over to
Thanks
you,
for
Guru.
organizing
Guru.
team as well.
Hi, Ms. Nisha. It's wonderful listening to you. I'm the president of BNI Kohinoor chapter, and it's been a pleasure to listen to you. And it was very amazing, especially in this pandemic time, talking about money and entrepreneurs. We can relate to every example you said. So, on behalf of Kohinoor chapter, as a president, I want to thank you for a wonderful session and inputs you have given. Thanks a lot.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Guru.
Nisha.
Thanks for the
Thank you.
invitation. Thanks for having me. Thank you.